Hi guys, I've just finished watching episode 2 of Lost in Space, and already, I thought it was good, by the way. I should just get that out of the way. But already I'm seeing some problems with the show, and they're not massive, huge problems. But it is a sci-fi show, and in a sci-fi show you have to make certain conceits, and you've got to kind of just go, okay, fair enough. But Lost in Space has dropped some pretty big clangers in the show. It's still good, I still enjoy it, I'm still having a lot of fun watching it. But there are some problems, and I want to just sort of address them and get them out of the way. The first one is the planet that they're on. In any sci-fi show where they go down to a planet surface, you have to make certain sort of certain sort of adjustments as to how this planet's supposed to work, and usually when they do it in like Star Trek or something like that, it's usually a very small area of the planet. With Lost in Space though, they seem to be going for a really sort of a big broad region, and I don't know what the rules are for this planet to exist, but it seems that it's almost impossible for this planet to exist. Not just in the nature of the fact that this planet is in the Goldilocks zone, that's one thing, but the fact is that you've got so much violent weather, you've got so many changing conditions, and yet you're supposed to also believe then that you've got within walking distance, because they even say in the show that at night the temperatures drop into 60 below, and yet within walking distance of that zone, within a couple of hours in walking distance, you've got this really plush forestry, all these trees and bugs and all these things, and then you get this storm, and this storm is pelting stone at everything, and you can see, as the storm comes in, you see these trees getting ripped to shreds, and they're literally getting annihilated. So I find it difficult to sort of just swallow the fact that you could have all this sort of environment exist in this very small region, and it is a broad area, but in terms of geology, it's really not that big an area that we're talking about. It's not like, oh, this is a whole continent that we're talking about. This is miles. And 1 minute it's really normal temperature, then it's below, then they're having this storm come in. I just find it very difficult to sort of acknowledge that this planet could exist. That's all I'm saying. So that's one of the problems. One of the other problems I've got is the dialogue in the show. Most of the time, I have no problems, but every now and again, for some reason, they just drop a clanger. I don't know how they thought that the audience wasn't going to notice. But sometimes they just say stuff that's just like, that is really bloody odd. That's a really peculiar thing to just say, And sometimes it comes from one of the kids, but even the adults, to say stuff that's just like, that's weird. Why would you even say that? And it's stuff to do with regular day-to-day stuff. It's stuff that if you've got a family, they would know. Like the mother says, like, oh, it's my lucky whiteboard. What? Why would you be telling your daughter that? Surely she knows what it is. It's just really odd. And then you have these like lines that just come out of nowhere, whereby Will is sorting his stuff out with his he takes that pod thing and puts it in his pocket. He pulls out the baseball, and it's like, oh, how did that get in there? It's like, it's not just the delivery, the actual line itself is a bit naff. And I noticed it in episode 1, but in episode 2 it was a bit more peppered in, and just some really odd things. Like they're on board the spaceship, and not the alien spaceship, and the mother starts using the interface like, oh, it's intuitive, but she just seemed to already go, oh, I'll read this. What? You can't read? It's an alien language. What are you on about? I'm looking... Oh, it wasn't read this, was it? It was something like, I'm looking at this. What? Okay. I'm digesting food. What else are we doing? So yeah, there's some proper clangers in here. I thought that the some of the stuff that they do as well, whereby, you know, they do the whole looking through the telescope thing, that sort of stuff, I don't know. It just seemed a bit off. Everything just seemed a bit off kilter. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still, you know, any flaws that are with the series are the flaws that come with any sci-fi show. But yeah, there's Dr. Smith seems to be having a Heath Ledger Joker moment, whereby every time somebody asks her about her past, it's completely different. And again, we're not talking about Dr. Smith really. The robot, I think this is the problem I think I got with the series really, is that we're not really getting anywhere. Or we are, but very, very slowly. So what's happening is that we start the episode, it goes spins the wheels for a second, and then that's the end of the episode, and we've moved this far. Instead of actually getting somewhere, we're just sort of going up, around, and landing. And up, around, and landing. And the series is sort of doing backflips as opposed to actually just running the 100 meters. It's an odd analogy, but I think it works. Yeah. But yeah, I'm overall still enjoying the show. And as for episode 2, a little bit of progress has been made. I found it's Penny to be a character that is kind of you'd at some point Judy's just gonna punch her in the face. Sometimes you just find certain characters annoying. Like I think Penny is supposed to be this dynamic sort of just, you know, let's just do this kind of attitude, but she's so impulsive that she comes across as I don't know, a bit of a teenage brat, I guess. You know, oh, why does everything have to be so hard? That's the sort of thing that I get from Penny. And then you've got Judy on the other hand, who seems to be so lackadaisical and so by the numbers that it's just like, these two, you wouldn't want to be in the room with either one of them. They'd drive you nuts. But yeah, you know, episode 2 of Lost in Space, it's got problems. The show has some problems, but it's stuff that I can overlook. By the way, before I go, did anybody else, when they were watching episode 2, think, haven't they landed on Kobol from Battlestar Galactica? It looks really familiar. I think it is actually the same place as well. I'm not sure though. I'm not entirely sure, but it does certainly have that certain feel to it. But anyway, that's what I thought of episode 2 of Lost in Space. It seems to be doing pretty well. It's okay. It's a good show. I'm enjoying it.